Here we go.
This is the SFA Coaching Show, presented by
Here we go.
And welcome in everybody here at Buffalo Wild Wings on a Wednesday night as the basketball regular season has concluded. We head into tournament season now as the Southern Conference tournament will begin Sunday on the men's side. We'll begin Monday on the women's side. We'll talk some basketball coming up tonight. Also, I believe we got Kobe Carthel coming up here as he'll talk spring football, I guess, and perhaps some recruiting. I'm not sure what he'll talk about. And then I think we got the baseball coach here, so we're not going to talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got the trifecta?
Yeah, and we start with Lynn Bishop here, Lady Jenks, as they claim the 3 seed in the. There's not much I can do.
There you go.
Yeah, that better?
There we go.
Okay. I have been, I'm telling you, there's 2 things that need to change.
Okay.
One of which are the engineer. We're going to have to find a new engineer.
Okay.
Because the engineer is lacking, but perhaps now, can you hear? Okay,
Well,
there we go.
you know what?
And the other thing we'll talk about later.
Well, all I was going to say is, you know what I've learned over time?
If they say something to listen,
Listen to the women you
there
got.
you go.
There you go.
That's kind of how. This is something we haven't talked about. This brings up a point. Then listen to the women in your life. You got like 15 of them.
Yeah, I do. If you include assistant coaches and managers, I got more than that.
Yeah. So how's it working out for you?
Yeah, it's great. Again, I don't ever think I'm the smartest person in the room because they'll quickly tell you you're not.
Yeah.
And again, you walk around and you manage emotions and how things are going, and you ask questions and you listen to the answers.
And so, how much input do they offer you?
A lot. I tell them all the time, like, listen, I'm open to suggestions, but I make the decision. So, again, give me what you got. I'm definitely open here, but again, the decisions are going to be made for the rest of the group.
Okay, and I was curious about that because that is something that I have not. I've only been around women's basketball on the periphery. I've never traveled with the women's basketball team. Other than a time or 2, but so I'm not with them on a day-to-day basis, and I'm sure there are some different dynamics than there are in traveling with the men's side.
100%. There's definitely some different dynamics.
I would think that on the men's side of things, the opportunities to be perhaps a bit more blunt in response to a suggestion or a question.
Yes and no. You would be surprised.
Yeah.
You would be surprised because at the end of the day, they're ballers, and so that's where they're. In the heat of the moment, they don't care. Like it's go time. I'll tell you one thing that is different. We have more luggage.
Yes.
We definitely have more luggage in the men's team.
And I will say, and I think that it was, I can't recall if it was during the Kellogg years. I don't think it was. I think it was pre that time. I can recall in Thibodeau, riding to the arena on the women's bus because I was going to do both games. I can't remember if it was you guys or if it was a staff before, but I can remember, and for those who've not been, on a team bus heading to a game, on the men's side, there's not a word, but it's quiet. There's nobody's talking, nobody's doing anything. You sit down, you sit in your seat, you ride silently to the arena, you get off, you walk in, you go to work. I got on the bus to go to, and it's only a 5-minute drive in Thibodeau, but it was a party.
Yeah, no, there are different senses. Again, there are times where it is a party, then there's times where it is, dead quiet, and you feel that tension and that focus when you're into the game. But I typically pre-game, because I don't want to be distracted, I put my AirPods on, I let them do whatever, so I can focus on my game plan and my tactics. And then when we get to the gym, I don't watch them warm up. I don't want to be upset with how lazy they look at warm up or anything like that. I'm just going to judge them by how they're playing during the game.
And they played pretty well for you this year.
Yeah, they've done really well for us this year.
Yeah, so they claim the 3 seed and will sit and wait now as you receive a bye. The 3 and 4 seeds receive 1 bye. The 1 and 2 seeds get a couple of byes in the Southern Conference Tournament. 1 and 2, number 1 Southeastern, number 2 Lamar will not play until Wednesday. You guys play Tuesday at 1:30. It'll be the second game on Tuesday. As number 4 Incarnate Word will win the winner of the Texas A&M Corpus Christi Washington State game. You guys will win the winner of the Nichols UT Rio Grande Valley.
We're gonna
game.
beat
So,
them because they're 6 and 7.
and I guess the good news from a coach's standpoint, you've played both of these within the last couple of weeks. Rio Grande Valley and Nichols beat them by 20 both times. That Nichols score, in fact, to close out the regular season was 79-56. We were just talking about that a moment ago. That was this past Saturday. So playing well as the season comes to a close, and you'll get one of those two a week from today down in Lake Charles.
Yeah, you always hear coaches talk about you want to be playing well going into the tournament. You want to be hitting your streak. You want to be playing well in March. Well, we're currently on a 12-game winning streak. So if you had told me, hey, you're going to go in on a 12-game winning streak, I'm like, all right, we're doing really good. And I would have thought that would have got us the 1 or the 2 seed. But ultimately, it didn't. Where we are. But we're excited to be playing in the tournament and have an opportunity to really give ourselves a chance to win it. So, like you said, we'll be playing UT, RGV, or Nichols, who we split with, lost at their places early in the season, but they came back and won the most recent ones here in the last few weeks. So our team is clicking really well, and we'll have a little rest period between now and then to get healthy, but we're excited.
Yeah, so that again will take place. That'll be next Wednesday afternoon at 1:30. Where you'll tip following after they get the floors cleared, have 30 minutes to warm up. So probably around between 1:30 and 2, you guys get going in Game 4 of the Southern Conference Tournament down there. And just having seen, kind of a toss-up. I think who you might see.
Yeah, no, they're both really, really good teams. They both play hard. Nichols tries to get after you on the defensive end and get up and down and drive into the bucket, and they do a good job of getting to the free throw line when you got UTRGV. On the opposite end of that, they spread you out, they shoot the 3, and do a lot of different things. So, like they always say, stop any fights in this March, so anything can happen. So the great thing for us is we get to play the winner.
Yeah. So you sit and wait and watch. You and your coaches have to prepare, I guess, really for 2 opponents, prepare for them both, and then you'll figure out the afternoon before who you'll see in that one. But this tournament, I would think, other than Southeastern, who you only played 1 time, you played them down at their place.
No, I don't know. We lost that's the one home loss.
The one here, and other than them, you beat everybody else in the field.
Yeah, no, we feel very competitive. We feel really like we're clicking at the right time. We got our freshman kids are really playing well down the stretch for us, Chad Gardner and Key Roseby. So we feel like we're doing things the right way. Avery Sickle's been in and out of the lineup with a little bit of injury, but our last game was this past Saturday. We don't play until the 11th, so 10 days off of rest we feel like is going to allow us to rest up and be ready to hop out the gates.
Yeah, last week when we were sitting here talking, we asked if you would get anybody back. But if you get Matt Sickle back, that gives you another gun from the outside that will certainly help in the postseason.
No doubt. Again, I've always talked about it and praised our team. We have a lot of different weapons. We have 5 kids currently averaging double figures, and so when you have that many weapons, you never know who can go off. And I know they're averaging double figures, but all of them are capable of going off for 20. So whoever's night it is that night, we're gonna let them go off, and we do a good job of finding the high hand.
And let's just talk a little bit about the field. We'll talk about the Southern Conference Tournament. I mentioned a moment ago the first game would be between the 8 and Northwestern State, I guess, is the 4. They're the
Northwestern
6,
State
7,
is the
5. They're the number 5 seed. Yeah. So they're 5th. So Northwestern State, A&M Corpus Christi, and A&M Corpus Christi, they were kind of scratching and clawing. They just barely get in the tournament, but they're capable of beating some.
Yeah, they're capable of beating some people. They just beat the previously undefeated Southeastern and ended their long, I believe it was 22-game win streak or something like that. So, again, that's the great thing about this. You got Texas A&M Corpus Christi versus Northwestern State. We did sweep Corpus Christi this year, pretty close at their place the first time around, but then at our place we took care of business. And then you got Northwestern State, who we had 2 slobber knockers versus. Again, here at our place we're losing in the last minute and are able to rally back, and then same thing at their place, we're able to rally back while their football team is yelling at us. So that was a pretty hostile environment. And then you got Incarnate Word, who we swept, but at their place was pretty contentious, and like we talked about last week. And so it's a really competitive Southland Conference on the women's side this year, and that's what makes it exciting.
Yeah, and on your side of the bracket, as we said, again, you get the winners of the Nichols UT Rio Grande Valley game, and that will take place next Wednesday. And then the winner of that game will take on Lamar in the semifinals. So again, your side of the bracket, I gotta believe. Lamar's sitting there thinking, well, at least we get an extra day's rest. But you got to believe that in the back of their minds they're getting ready to play.
Yeah, no doubt. They have to expect that, but at the same time they got to prepare for all 3 of us. So that's the great thing about us is we know if we win, we're only preparing for them. And again, we split with them. We all had a 3 at the end of that one at their place to tie it up, just be rattled in and out. And then won a pretty close game at our place on the back end of that, so split with them as well. So I feel like our team is confident no matter who we play in this tournament that they have a really good chance to win.
Yeah, you mentioned a moment ago your freshmen are playing well for you. At this point in the year, they're not freshmen anymore.
Yeah, they're pseudo sophomores for sure.
They got 30 games under their belts and they have been playing well. I thought Roseby really gave you some good minutes. She can be a presence. I mean, she's not 6 feet tall, but she gets a lot of rebounds.
Yeah, no, she definitely is a beast on the inside. And we recruited her because she was a winner. 2-time state champion, state finals MVP at the 6A level at Frisco Liberty. So she's done it at a high level. Played with Nike EYBL basketball. So she was one of the first kids that I targeted when we got the job, just because I know she could score on the outside with the 3, and then she's able to clean up misses and score on the inside and be physical. So really proud of her development. And you got Chuck Gardner from New York. It's a funny story. I was going up to Philadelphia to recruit a kid from Texas playing in a tournament in Philadelphia, and then I saw this kid from New York just dominate her. I'm like, all right, maybe that's the kid we need to be recruiting. And then got in the mix with her, and not a lot of people were recruiting her, and she's been a world of a kid to coach. And she had a really big game for us when we needed it in a close game at Houston Christian last week or 2 weeks ago, scoring 21 and 10. So I think our freshman kids are really rounded in the form, and I'm really proud of them.
Yeah, and again, just getting to see you guys periodically here and there, and then Saturday, did that game Saturday. I thought in watching her, she seems to be, there's a higher ceiling perhaps for her, because I don't think that she's as experienced or developed in her game as perhaps Roseby.
Yeah, no doubt. I think she's just now rounding into form and figuring what she's going to become as a basketball player. We've challenged her to stretch her 3-point, her range out to the 3-point line. At first, it was pretty ugly, but we continue to instill confidence in her, and I believe over the last 5 games, she's shooting at like 37% from 3, which is really, really good. So, with her being that tall, and she has a great IQ on the basketball floor, so she's able to read those things. Now, can her body and her skill set allow her to do those? So, she's rounding in the form, and I think she's going to be a beast if she continues to stay here for the long run.
And now, as the regular season has come to a close here, and as we mentioned, Lady Jacks will be the 3 seed. They'll play next Wednesday at 1:30. Chase Merrill will have that before you here on the SFA Sports Network. He'll be in Lake Charles with the Lady Jacks for that one. That one will also be streamed with ESPN Plus with the Southern Conference. I guess the Southern Conference folks will be taking care of that down there. Perhaps David Saltzman will be on the call for those women's games next Wednesday. But sitting here now, if we would have talked November 5th, okay, here you go, Leonard, you're going to be 26-5, 25-6, whatever. Was that what you thought that this team was capable of putting together?
If we had sat there and had that conversation, I probably would have said, could we go 27-4? I would have tried to bargain with them. But no, I'm really proud of them just because We had a lot of turnover in this group. I believe our five leading scorers from a year ago are not here on this team. So it was a lot of turnover. It was a lot of new kids, freshmen we talked about, transfer portal kids coming in and trying to put things together on the fly. I don't think our system is very simple. I think it's really complex to learn. And so for them to buy in the way that they did and to be able to win some tough games, at San Diego State, which was a very tough environment over Christmas, and to beat Colorado State out there as well, to beat a tough La Tech team at home. And, again, I think I'm really proud of them. I'm glad with the progression we have, but again, we still want to win some rings and put some jewelry in ourselves. So we want to win the conference championship and then go to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and to me, in watching this team, because I thought, especially early in the year, though, well, I don't think that they're as good as they were a year ago. But as it turns out, you're as good as you were a year ago, or better. And due in large part, I think, is the fact that you had some shooters out there. Everybody can shoot the ball.
No, it was a different philosophy. Again, last year we had Kirsten Harden, who advanced numbers would say she shot at 70% around the rim. So, again, I think basketball is a simple game. Everybody touches the ball, you share the ball, and the best shooters shoot the ball. And so last year, our best shooter was shooting at 70% in the paint, so we needed to work to get her the ball, and then we surrounded her with shooting. And so if she kicked it out to you, you needed to be ready to score it. With this year's team, I felt like with the guards that we have and the different versatility that we have, that we needed to spread it out, shoot more threes, and then also be prepared to take care of mismatches, because you talked about Roseby. She's a guard that can shoot it, but also, you put a little small guard on her, she can go down there and post up. So get paint points a little bit differently than just having one person that can get that down there. And then obviously, we got the shooters like Avery Van Sickle, Armani Dominguez, Faith Blackstone, Trinity Moore even can shoot the three really, really well. So, we just kind of changed the philosophy based on the kids that we have.
Yeah, we mentioned the freshman there, mentioned Blackstone. Talk a little bit about her, because, 1 year player for you, came in here, and I thought that she gave you, she provided exactly, I think, what this team needed. Kind of somebody that could knife to the rim whenever they needed to, but also could shoot the three up.
100%. I tell everybody she's a professional scorer. And she, one game she goes off from three and is able to, hit 4 or 5 of those. The next game, she didn't hit any, she only hit 3 shots total. But she got to the line 17 times and is able to still get to 17, 20 points just because she's going to score the basketball in different ways. And so you're right, she gives that slash to the basket, ability to shoot threes, but she also gives a toughness and an edge. She's probably as skinny as that straw right there, but when she goes to the rack, she goes with ferocity. When she's on defense, you feel her presence, and she's out there talking and cheering her teammates on. So she gives us a different edge for sure.
So it was a good combination, a well put together team, and that's the whole thing. We've talked about it throughout the course of the year. At this point, as you sit here, you hope that you got all these other people coming back, but you never know. And so, next year's team, it could be the same thing. You could be putting 10 new people together and figuring out what's going on.
Yeah, the landscape of college athletics has changed. Again, you can get mad at it or you can adapt. So I've chosen to do the latter because that's what my family needs me to do. So, again, at the end of the day, you got to find kids that want to be here, that want to do things the right way, and want to play for Lady Jack basketball, whether that be for 1 year, 4 years, or a COVID year and have 5. You want kids that are going to come in here, go to class, represent the university the right way, and then hoop. We're going to have fun hooping. Like, this is what you've done since you were a little kid, so let's have fun doing it.
Yep, Lynn Bishop, Lady Jacks in action a week from today, next Wednesday afternoon at 1:30, as they await the winner of the Nichols UT Rio Grande Valley game. They split with both of those, but won their last matchups. They beat UT Rio Grande Valley February 6th, 87-67, beat Nichols March 1st, 79-56. They await the winner of that game next Wednesday in Lake Charles. Nice arena.
It is really nice arena. It's a really nice arena. You know which one I like more? The Merrill Center. I like neutral site games.
Well, this is true. However, this will be neutral to a large extent since the home team did not qualify for the tournament.
Yes, it is. But, for both sides, I'm just saying.
Now, on the men's side, I would think that, and we've talked about this is part of the reason that they stayed in the Southern Conference several years ago instead of joining the WAC with the rest of us. They stayed in the Southland, and as a result, they're hosting all these postseason tournaments. Nice to where we don't have to travel to the postseason tournament. And unfortunately for them, their women's team did not qualify. Their men's team is the number 1 seed, and that'll be a significant home court advantage for them.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know what that contract is up?
I have no idea.
I thought you were helping negotiate that.
If I were, it would be different.
I'm sure. But no, again, I've argued that, we just got to try and get out of that as soon as possible because, yes, their women's team isn't in it, but we just talked about it. They're one transfer away from being in it and being ready to win it. So, that's something that's out of our control, but, it is what it is.
Take a quick time out. Lynn Bishop will come back. We'll talk a little bit more about his basketball team as they get ready to head to Lake Charles. We'll talk about those plans and how you can follow the Lady Jacks in Lake Charles next week as part of the Southern Conference tournament. First, this quick time out. We got football and baseball coming up after this on the Lake Lumberjack Sports Network from Leonard.